Hi guys, and welcome back for part 2 of turning my childhood into an anime series. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, then go back and watch the first one. What are you doing here? I'm just kidding with you. I actually have a playlist on my channel where I'll be putting all of these, but you don't have to watch them in any particular order, so no worries if you just want to watch one or all of them. Anyways, like I said last week, this week's character is Snowy. I've had her since I was a baby, and if you haven't seen my previous video, I view Snowy as kind of Angel's little sister, even though technically I've had Snowy for way longer. So let's go ahead and turn this cute little bear into an anime girl. So when designing Snowy's character, I had to first decide on her personality. I always felt Snowy was kind of this shy, nervous type of girl. She could be a bit childish, but she's not too naive. She's very smart and she loves her older sister, that kind of thing. So for her design, I want to make sure that I show that with her expression. So I chose a sort of pouty, worried look. For her hair, I decided since Angel had long hair, Snowy will also have long hair, but instead of it being free-flowing, I figured I would just put her hair in a ponytail. Maybe a very long, thin one. I'll probably have to draw that after I draw her outfit though, because I want her to be kind of holding the ponytail, if that makes sense. For her outfit, I'm thinking some overalls would be very cute, and to keep up with her sister's Valentine's Day theme, I'll add hearts to the buttons of the overalls and maybe to the stitching later on. Snowy also has this kind of white frilly collar going on, but I think I'm going to add a red one instead to the outfit because I want it to stand out on her, and I don't think it will if it's white. Her color palette is only red and white and black, I guess you could say, if you're counting her eyes. So her outfit will be red with white accents, and her hair will be white with her eyes red. I like doing challenges like this where the color palette's already chosen for me because it's hard to come up with color palettes for characters sometimes, so this just takes all the stress out of it. Snowy also has this red bow on her collar, but I don't really want the bow to be around her neck like Angel's. I want her to be a little bit different from her sister, so instead I'll be putting a few red bows in her hair to represent that. I'll also add some to her ears because I think it'd be very cute to add kind of like earrings. Then it's on to the line art cleanup and deciding on the positioning of the lighting. I've decided way ahead of time that I want this to be a kind of nighttime scene to complement Angel's daytime background, so I'm thinking I'm going to put some lighting right overhead to kind of represent moonlight I'll be adding later. Another thing about the background is I want to continue with the cherry blossoms since Angel had a ton in her portrait to kind of tie them together, but instead of having light pink flowers, I'm going with white instead. I also think this will make the flowers stand out from the dark background as well.
I don't know if I can find my way out. I'm stuck in a prison of doubt. In this torsion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to I don't know if I can find my way out. In this tiny and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to fall into the ocean. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching out. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching out.
So while I'm in the coloring and rendering stages, I would just like to take a moment to talk about my new way of coloring. Before, I used to just turn my lighting layer into a multiply layer over my base colors and then add an overlay layer and color on top to get the shading how I wanted it, but a big flaw with this is that the colors looked very dull wherever the shadow was. I didn't really like that, so I kept experimenting and watched a ton of YouTube tutorials, but nothing ever seemed to solve this issue for me. After a while, I was about to give up, but then I got this idea to just use the lighting layer as a guide and instead just use the paint bucket with whatever shadow color I decided on to fill in wherever the shadow was. I figured out this way I don't get muddy or desaturated colors, and I can still do a similar method to what I was doing without sacrificing vibrancy. I think this method of coloring is way better, and I'll probably be sticking with it for the foreseeable future. She's looking great! Now on to the background, and while I'm doing that, I'll just tell you a little bit more about this little stuffed bear. I got Snowy as a baby, but nobody really remembers who gave her to me. But to me, I didn't really receive Snowy until I was about 5 years old. This is mainly because when I was a toddler, my mom put all my baby stuff in a trash bag and then put that in a storage bucket in the very, very back of my closet. When I was about 5 years old, I went through a phase of playing in my closet like it was a playhouse, and one of the things that I would do is explore through the closet because my parents stored a lot of their stuff in there too, like records and an old empty fish tank that I liked to play pretend had fish in it, winter blankets, etc. And one day I had finally managed the strength to pop open the storage container and found this trash bag. And it was like finding buried treasure. I had no idea what was in it, but I was like, oh yay, I can find out and kind of snoop around. So I got a pencil and poked a hole in the bag, and then I used my fingers to pry the hole open a little bit more. I didn't want it too big because I didn't want it to be noticeable. Trying to be sneaky. Inside was my baby toys like jingly baby keys, teething rings, and a jack-in-the-box that honestly scared the crap out of me, so I ended up putting that back. A couple of stuffed toys, a baby blanket, and finally at the bottom was Snowy. I like Snowy and I didn't really care about the other things in the bucket, so when I heard my mom coming to check up on me, I quickly hid Snowy in a different part of the closet and tried to put the lid back on but ended up getting caught. I got in trouble a couple more times after that for getting into that bucket, but I just wanted to play with the toys and stuff. Finally, I was allowed to play with Snowy and keep her with my other toys, but the rest had to go back into the baby bin so my mom could keep them for me for when I got older, if I wanted to give them to my own kids or if I wanted to just keep them. And I've had her ever since.
I don't know if I can find my way out. I'm stuck in a prison of doubt. In this tiny shell, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe, and nobody is watching at night. The water rises. Need a friend to shake me out again. don't know if I can find my way out. In this everything is growing up tight. There's no way to fall into the ocean. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching you. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching you. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. I'm reaching. It's coming. I'm reaching. Water is rising over me. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching. Water is rising. It's coming in. Water is rising over me. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching. It's coming in. Water is rising.
And she's done! I hope you guys like her as much as I do. I think I managed to capture her likeness and personality how I remember it, or at least how I used to play with her. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!